Hello, my name is Macsen and welcome to my Endless Space Disharmony Let's Play on my YouTube channel Celtic Gamer. During this Let's Play I will be playing on the hardest difficulty setting, which is called Endless. I'll probably play on the largest map size and with the maximum number of opponents. This recording is about just over a day after the Disharmony DLC was released. There's already been a small patch. The original version was 1.1.0 and now it's 1.1.1, as you can see in the bottom left hand corner. Before I get into the game, I'll just quickly show you what options I'm using. I tend to like it when people show what options they're using. That should be the maximum graphics. If the music is too loud, please leave a comment. I should be putting up one of these videos at least once a day over the next week or two, or maybe longer if the game takes that long. Because this is the first Endless Space Let's Play on my YouTube channel, I'll be discussing a little bit about what Endless Space is, and more importantly I'll be going into more detail about what the Disharmony DLC contains and what changes it has made. But it's about time we start to get into the action. If you keep the annotation settings on your YouTube when you're watching YouTube or watching this, if there's anything I'll forget, then I'll add little pop-up annotations just to give you some more details, especially for those of you who are new to Endless Space. Those should be helpful. Okay, so I'll keep all the galaxy and speed options default. In the original game, the Wonder Victories was way too easy, but that's been altered in the new DLC, Disharmony. So I'll keep that on. At least I think it's been altered. It looks altered to me from memory. It's probably since about February I played the game last, and last time I beat Endless. Haven't actually beaten Disharmony yet because it's only just come out. Right, race selection. The Sheridan, I think I'll be taking the Sheridan as a race in this game, I think. I previously owned the Admiral edition, so I didn't have the Sheridan in my game. Only the Emperor edition had the Sheridan. But the old Sheridan version was exactly the same as United Empire. And now Amplitude, the studio that makes this game, has actually given them unique faction traits and their own video. So they're proper fully fledged faction now. The new faction in Disharmony is the Harmony, and I'll mention a bit about them later. Probably play them in a future game as well. But all the races in Disharmony have been changed. They've had new techs increased. Some of the weaker factions like the Sowers have been slightly improved. I'm not sure how much they've been improved though. Okay, so Sheridan faction. Okay, I think, right, difficulty is endless. I think all the settings are okay. Oh, let's pick some factions. Normally, if you leave it all on random, you can have the same faction many times. So say you could have, in theory, you could have 8 Sheridan factions, or 8 of any faction, but that's very statistically unlikely because there are 11 factions. You often get 2 or 3 of the same faction though, unless you pick some random factions. So let's pick some to reduce that chance of happening. The automatons, a relatively new released race. They came out in an expansion pack a few months ago, but in Disharmony they've had the ship models. They've had new ship models put into the game, their own unique ones, and they've now got a new video along with the Sheridan and the Harmony. Who else should we have? Okay, everyone loves Cravers. They're mad locusts, always war types. And actually, yeah, we need the Harmony as well. So Harmony, a new faction, so everyone's going to want to see them. What colour should the Cravers have? Go yellow. Okay, that should be enough. I think the Cravers and Harmony, well, the Cravers are definitely a warlike faction, and Harmony probably are as well. Okay. Let's start a game. This is an introduction video, so I'll be quiet during that.
As old as the United Empire, the Sheridan were created to serve and protect its first leaders. As the Empire evolved, the one thing that remained constant was their code. Integrity, loyalty, perseverance. But everything changed when Emperor Zelivas took the throne. For whatever deal was made or bargain struck, they are now free of formal ties to the Empire. Skilled and experienced, with a galaxy to explore or conquer, the Sheridan are finally in business for themselves.
Okay, so we're in a 4-spiral galaxy. And it looks like we're on the outer limits of one of the arms. These type of galaxies, you tend to have one faction at each end of the arms, and then one faction placed around here. So there. Another faction there, another faction there, and then probably one there and one there. And you tend to have a lot of uninhabited planets in the middle for everyone to fight over. Probably being at the end of the arm might not be such a great place, unless hopefully the faction that's around here will be quite weak. If you do start there though, you tend to have more factions nearby, so it might be better for traders, trading factions. Okay, let's save the game before I forget. Okay, I'm just going to check if everything's recording properly, and then I'll come back and get into the action. Okay, I'm back. Recording actually worked, which is great. I turned the music settings down a tiny bit more just in case you can't hear me properly. Right, okay, we've got a ton of icons over here, so these are the heroes that we can hire. There are 3 available in the academy, so what have we got? We've got Administrator Corporates, so they're good for planetary, helping out planets or systems basically. Corporate and Commander, so he's mixed, which is not so great. And we've got a Pilot and Adventurer, so he's good for ships mainly. Having said that, the Adventurer has been changed a little. Administrator used to have morale bonuses, but those have been moved over to the Adventurer, so the Adventurer class is now a mixture of planetary focus and ship focus. And so basically the Administrator isn't quite as good as it used to be. But right, so it's important to hire a hero as soon as you can, and preferably an Administrator or a Corporate. Corporates are arguably stronger now than Administrators, but probably early on the Administrator is still better. Right, let's check tech tree. When you're playing the new race for the first time, it's very important to learn the tech tree, so all the tech trees are different for each race. You can see some of the technologies, like that one for instance, are in orange, and the orange ones are basically the race specific technologies for that race. There are a couple of exceptions. All the races now have unique ships, so they all have orange for these ships. And as you can see there on the effects, every different race has different effects for different ships, including the colony ship and the scout ship, which aren't shown in the tech tree, but in the ship design option. Most of the colony ones are exactly the same, but there's a few different. The Horatio have a bigger bonus, and the Harmony have slightly, they have different options as well. I've written them down in my notes somewhere. The Sheridan faction though, which I'm playing now, they're mainly focused towards military, and they've got quite a few dust improvements as well, so and that tends to suit my gameplay style. So we'll probably be going towards either a military or dust focused victory condition. The victory has changed as well. I think you didn't used to need all those resources. I think. It's possible I'm misremembering. And I think the cost has gone up. I'm sure it used to be about 30,000 cost, and now it's 120,000. So that makes it used to be way too easy. So we'll probably go for either a dust or military, or and then our secondary options are probably wonder, or and least likely probably diplomacy. The expansion victory is also an option, maybe, but on a huge map I think there's 80 star systems or 100 star systems, so it's unlikely we get a supremacy victory. You have to have 75% of the map. Right, let's have a look at these orange text then, see what the Sheridan are good at. Okay, they've got orange tech here. I think that module has been moved from elsewhere, so you get it earlier, and that's just used for invading planets. You've got the heavy armor So they're good at... They've got a higher armor option than normal here. The Sheridan actually get a 40% bonus to hit points as well. So instead of using shields or deflectors, just having massive amounts of armor might be an option for the Sheridan. United Empire quite similar in that. Actually, I'll show the Sheridan options before I get back into that, because I haven't done that yet. All these are new. Sheridan Affinity prevents opponents from retreating, and a 50% buyout bonus system. So money's very good for them, and no one can retreat from them. I think that probably means missiles are much better for the Sheridan, because normally when someone retreats, the missiles don't have enough time to hit them. But if they can't retreat, those missiles will hit the enemy ships, which makes them better. So I'll probably be going missile attack with the Sheridan, as long as I can find the titanium you need to use it. They have Dust Congruity, which is a dust leech. It says 30% dust of systems they are orbiting, they leech, but on the effects it's plus 0.3. So is that the same thing, or I'm not sure. Hopefully you do actually get 30% dust leech. In previous versions of the game, I think the dust leech has had bugs though, so that might be a problem. Entrepreneurs, plus 1 gold or dust per planet. Dust is basically gold in the game. Strong allies, as I was saying before, 40% hit points on ships. Asceticism, minus 50% luxury bonus. That's really bad. Not quite sure how bad it is yet, we'll have to see. And Sheridan Integrity, minus 10 happiness per deal broken on system. I'm not exactly sure how that works yet. Hopefully, it doesn't say if it's permanent or temporary. I assume it means these deals. Not 100% sure on that. Okay, back to the text, see how they're unique. These two texts here and here, everyone seems to have a specialized version of those texts, so I'm not sure they're actually unique. And they're basically the top fighter and bomber texts. So where were we? We got to mention hit points. 10% converted into star system defense. So that's just basically a defense, extra defense built in. It's not that useful. On the what's it called? Applied Sciences Technology tree, which is over here. They have two oranges. Unique text. So there's this one, minus 35% ship cost and star system. Sounds pretty good. Sounds very good. But it comes quite late. And this is convert science into dust. If you're going for a dust victory, that could be very useful. And in the not military expansion, what's it called? Exploration expansion technology tree, and the bottom one, what have we got? We've got the normal ships, and I think that's it. So there's no unique. But in terms of ships, there's minus 20% production on weapons for the destroyer class. It's quite good. I think the scout class has a minus on tonnage, so we might be using the scouts for our small ships rather than the destroyer. I think the tonnage is more important than reducing costs. Cruiser has tonnage for bomb against population, so that's just destroying the population. Might be useful. Bomb against buildings, a battleship, very similar to the last one. And support module power tangent on ship, that's quite good. And on the left hand tree, which is the diplomacy and trading tree, we've got 4 unique techs. I wish it would show the orange on when you zoom out this far, but it doesn't. So xenology. There's an extra, that building has been enhanced. You get extra gold per population on those planets. That's really good. Dust for each destroyed enemy command point on Empire. That's really good. There's normally you have to have certain heroes to get that. This one is quite interesting. Plus 250 on star system, but you get, and it costs -15, which is nothing really. But you get minus happiness, minus food, and minus research. Doesn't say how much production that takes. I'm assuming it's a build-in rather than a temporary effect. But if you could, I think that would be really useful for crappy systems, or if you're going for a dust victory. If you've got crappy systems, it's much easier to handle their happiness. But that could be very strong. Then the final orange unique tech is -1 command points on ships of class Dreadnought. I think that means command points. So the highest level ship costs 3 command points in a fleet rather than 4 once you've got that. So that means you can have more of them, which is, that sounds very powerful. You can have more of those basically. And they're already very good because they got a reduction on power module, which you're likely to use. Right. That's enough of the tech tree. So that gives us a pretty good idea of what the Sheridan are all about. Dust and military. Right, the home starting system has 5 planets. That's really good for a starting system. Tends to get hydromial quite early on in the game as well. Oh, I didn't select tech, did I? Anyway, fusion plants is a no-brainer, I think, for almost everyone, if not everyone. So we'll go for that for the first tech. You want to get your population up as quickly as possible, so we'll have food, the first tech, not tech, building. And the new Disharmony rules, when you're building colony ships, the growth stops, so that limits expansion a lot now and earlier on. Also, the expansion disapproval and overpopulation disapproval has gone up more in Disharmony. And it's already huge on endless settings. So that's gonna, it means mass expanding like the players were used to be able to do in earlier versions of this game is a lot harder to do. Before, when I've won on endless, I've colonized about a quarter of the map because it was so easy to colonize and keep the happiness under control on the same settings as this. Not sure if it's a full spiral, but huge and 8 opponents. So I think we need enough money to hire a hero next turn, preferably. So I think I'm gonna go for 1 turn. You need 20 gold, so I think I'll grab him straight away because he's so useful. Got 2 ships. Each of the stars has a different chance of having different habitable planets on. You tend to want to get the first tier planets for most races, which are Terran planets or jungle planets or ocean planets. And there's a list on Endless Space Wiki which tells you the chance of finding certain planets on certain star systems. I'll give a link in the annotation for that. So what planets have we got? White Sun, Supergiant, White Sun, White Dwarf, Blue Sun. They're all pretty bad. Because we're at the end of a spiral, though, I think we should try to get inwards the most. So I'll send a colony down towards that direction, I think. Okay, so I send colony there. Yeah, colony there and scout there. There's a decent chance those two connect. The icon above these star systems is a special event that happens. It's basically a bonus for exploring. It was added in a previous patch, well before Disharmony. And colony there. So we get hero next turn. I think I've done everything. Right, I think this video's been about half an hour. I'm gonna cut these up into half an hour chunks, so it's easier for me to handle and it's not too long for viewers. Okay, so I'll save the game. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the first part of this video. Still haven't really got into the action, but I definitely will progress a lot more in the next video. If you like this video, please press the like button, and if you want to comment, please do. And most importantly, please watch the next video.